What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Fresh Review. Today we will be reviewing round 1 of the Eastern Conference 2024 NBA playoffs. In my last NBA video, I reviewed round 1 of the Western Conference. In this one, we're doing the Eastern Conference. So 4 series in the last video, 4 series in this video. Round 2 will be coming out next week. I am fully aware of the NBA Finals team. Another thing while this video is coming out so late, I was struck by a bad tornado. Well, not I, but my house and stuff. So we didn't have power for a few days. We got everything restored now, so we're good to go. Expect Demon Slayer Sunday to come out Monday. My Hero Monday, let's put an asterisk by that one. No guarantees there. But in my first NBA video, I showed the 10 elements I'm looking for when I review an NBA game. In my first ever video, I showed the scoring rubric I will be using to construct my reviews. That rubric goes from 0 to 100 or indescribable to legendary. If you're not fully aware of any of these videos or the scoring system, just check the comment section down below. I have the whole list down there so you guys can see the tier rankings and everything I do. But without further ado, let's start with the Eastern Conference Round 1 worst series and work our way up all the way to the best. And that is the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. And this has been a fantastic NBA rivalry for many years. The Jimmy Butler-led Heat bested Boston in the bubble. The Celtics got revenge by beating the Heat in Game 7 in Miami in 2022. Last year, the Heat got their revenge by beating the Celtics in Game 7 in Boston in 2023. Keep in mind the Heat were up 3-0 in that series, yet Boston still forced a Game 7. And now these rivals meet again, but the series was disappointing because the Heat's best player, playoff Jimmy Butler, was injured and did not play in any games. In result, we got a series that concluded in 5 games, and all 5 games were lackluster, weren't very entertaining. They were all double-digit victories. Let's start with Game 1. Jason Tatum got his first career triple-double, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Game 2 was the best game of the series. The Heat shot the lights out and hit a franchise record of 23 three-pointers. Game 3 was over by halftime. The Celtics scored 42 points in the second quarter and were up 63 to 39. In Game 4, the Celtics blew out the Heat again. In that game, Derek White had a career high of 38 points. Finally, Game 5 concluded the series. The game was nearly over at tip-off. The Celtics were up 18 at the end of the first quarter. Overall, a very bad series, and it's tough because these teams usually are always so great when they meet up, but without having Jimmy Butler there, the series just is so lackluster. Unlike the Clippers-Mavs series in the last video I did, the Western Conference Finals, although the Clippers didn't have Kawhi, it was still a very entertaining series because there are still star players on both sides of the ball, entertaining and stuff like that. But this series right here without Jimmy Butler is a tough one. And this could have been one of the best series because the Heat, as an 8 seed last year, made it all the way to the finals. They could have tried to do the same thing again this year, but unfortunately didn't have a chance due to the injury. I'm scoring this series a well below average score of 31 out of 100. I can see it ranging anywhere between 24 to 33. The reason why I'm giving this a well below average instead of a bad score is mainly because the Heat did force a Game 5. So if they would have got swept clean with all these games being blowout, that would have been in the bad or awful series. And there also was some rivalry and stuff from the past, so that kind of gave it a boost. But man, this is a series I did not care too much about. But the next series we have is Cavs vs. Magic, which I originally didn't care too much about, but they did eventually get me invested. And let's start with it. This was the only series in round 1 that went 7 games. All other series were 6 games or fewer. Starting with Game 1, this was a bad game. It was a wire-to-wire victory for the Cavaliers. Game 2 was slightly better. The game was tied once in the first quarter. Then the Cavs took a 22-point lead and won by double digits. Another really bad game. Game 3 was a crime against humanity. The Magic beat the Cavs by 38 points. The Magic led by as many as 43 points. Paolo Banchero had 31 points and 14 rebounds in this game. In Game 4, the Cavs were up 60 to 51 at halftime. In the third quarter, they were outscored 37 to 10 points. The Magic won this game by 23 points. The series is tied 2-2. None of the games were close or entertaining. I did not care who won or lost this series. I just wanted to be over. Then Game 5 happened. And what I normally do is I score each and every game, right? So, with the exception of game two and the Heat Celtics game, I thought game one, three, four, five were all really bad, awful, bad. You guys could pick wherever you want to range it, anywhere between 16 and 30. Like, hey, I don't want to talk about them. In this series, I thought game one, two, and three were all like ranging from really bad to like horrendous. Like, so anywhere between 10 to 25, you guys can pick. I don't want to talk about it. Game two, the one the Heat won where they hit that franchise record 23 3-pointers, I thought was well above average or good. So I will actually score that one. I'm going to just give it a 70. I'm going to say it was a good game. Like, watching them hit many catch and shoot threes isn't really that entertaining. It's a little bit different. You see step back threes and dudes hitting a contestant and stuff like that. I don't know what the Celtics were doing defensively. That was egregious to watch, kind of. But good game. I'm going to give that a 70 out of 100. The game where the Cavs got outscored in the third quarter 37 to 10, I thought was slightly above average. Because at least it's like good for the first half and the third quarter here. It's like, oh my, this is another murder. But so I'm gonna score that one. That's worth scoring. I'm gonna give that one like I'm gonna give it a 54 out of 100. Now we got game five. This is the first one we're gonna actually break down. It was the ultimate back and forth game. It consisted of 17 lead changes and 13 ties. Fast forward to 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Cavs are at home and find themselves down 87 to 90. In the right corner, Marcus Morris Sr. will hit a three-point shot to tie the game 90 all. On the ensuing possession, the Magic will turn the ball over, and Mitchell will convert that into a layup, giving the Cavs the lead back. Banchero would answer by hitting a long-range three-pointer. This recaptured the lead for the Magic. In the final 2 minutes, Evan Mobley would score twice in the paint to extend the Cavaliers' lead to 4 points with 40 seconds remaining. Then Franz Wagner would quickly score to reduce the Magic's deficit to 2 points. This is a 2-for-1, so this guaranteed the Magic would get another chance if they got a stop, and a stop they did get. Now, with the score tied at 102 to 100, the Magic would, Franz Wagner would be the person they go to. He would drive to the hoop for the game time layup. However, Evan Mobley would meet him there and prevent that from happening by getting a chase down block. With 3 seconds left, the Magic will have to foul Donovan Mitchell, whom hit both free throws to ice the game. Banchero hit a three-pointer to cut the lead down to 1, but there was not enough time for the Magic to foul. Banchero finished with 39 points, but was not enough. He needed 40 for overtime. He only had 39. He was great this game, though. The Cavs won an amazing game, 104 to 103. It was a thriller. The Cavs take a 3-2 lead in the series. I'm scoring this game an amazing score of 93 out of 100. I can see it ranging anywhere between 88 to 94. This was the first game that was enjoyable and entertaining in this series. Thankfully, it was not the last game that was enjoyable or entertaining, because we have game 6 next, a game that had 11 lead changes and 10 ties. With the Magic facing elimination at home, they would find themselves down 74 to 73 with 40 seconds in the third quarter. Donovan Mitchell would drive for a layup to extend the Cavs' lead to 3 points. On the next possession, Mitchell would drive again for another layup, this time beating the buzzer. The Cavs head into the fourth quarter with a 78 to 73 point lead. The Magic would quickly go on a 6-0 run to start the quarter, and that gave them the lead back. The game would continuously go back and forth. Fast forward to less than 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The game is tied at 86 apiece. Jalen Suggs would find Wendell Carter wide open for 3. Carter would miss it, but the ball would go right back to Suggs, who shot a three-pointer of his own. He would cash in and give the Magic a 3-point lead. Donovan Mitchell would answer by hitting a step-back 3 to tie the game, again at 89 apiece. Then Banchero would hit a dribble pull-up 3, followed by an N1 spin layup to give the Magic a 5-point lead. He did miss the free throw, so instead of them going up by 6, they only had a 5-point lead. But that lead was large enough because the Cavs were unable to overcome this deficit, and the Magic will ultimately hold on to win this game 103 to 96. The Magic outscored the Cavs 30 to 18 in the fourth quarter. Donovan Mitchell finished this game with 50 points. He scored all the Cavs' 18 points in the fourth quarter. And if you include those back-to-back layups in the third quarter I was talking about towards the end, he scored the Cavs' last 22 points in the final 14 minutes of this game. This man was a one-man army who had no help. I ain't see a Cavalier player have this little help since LeBron James game one of the finals. Like, he tried to win in spite of his team. Like, it wasn't J.R. Smith sabotaging you bad, but this was kind of like, this is more undercover. I feel like J.R. was like high, or he probably bet the under, or he had the mafia after. Like, J.R., there's something wrong with J.R. This is just one player though. His whole team, Donovan Mitchell's whole team was kind of trying to throw him. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was kind of sad. But lastly, we got Game 7. Oh, my bad. One more thing. Let's go ahead and review that game. I thought it was a great game. Game 6, I thought was a great game. I'll give that game an 88 out of 100. I could see it ranging anywhere between 85 and a 92. I don't think it's as good as Game 5. I don't really see too much of a case for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people said it was, since the stakes were a little bit higher. Elimination game compared to a pivotal Game 5, where it's tied 2-2. But now we got Game 7. Closeout game, win or go home, do or die. The Magic will have to go on the road and do what they have not done all series, or neither team has done all series. Win a game on the road. The Magic would take an 18-point lead early in the first half. The Cavs would cut this lead down to 10 by halftime. Well, at halftime, rather. And then outscore the Magic 33-15 in the third quarter. So they took an 8-point lead going into the fourth. A lead they never lost once they got it. Mitchell finished with 39 points and 9 rebounds. Banchero finished with 38 points and 16 rebounds. Unfortunately, Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs combined for 3 for 28 shooting. 3 for 28 shooting in a Game 7 is almost as bad as 3 to 28 in the Super Bowl. Like, it's really like kind of head scratching how it happens. Once again, we talk about throwing games here, right? Throwing games. Are you even trying to win? It's indescribable how they perform. 3 for 28. You accidentally hit your shot you hit. How you shoot 1 for 15, Franz Wagner? 1 for 15. Inexcusable. Jalen Suggs 2 for 13 is egregious as well. But oh my goodness, they were horrible this game. Banchero 38 and 16, like I said. He had no help, man. No help. But at the time of this game, right, this was the largest Game 7 comeback since the league started tracking play-by-play scoring in 1998. That 18-point deficit the Cavs overcame. However, this record only lasted a few weeks because the Wolves overcame a 20-point deficit to defeat the Denver Nuggets. If you would like to see me review that series, please let me know by leaving a comment or subscribing for more content. Now, there's this saying in basketball that no series starts until the road team wins a game. The home team won all 7 games this series. Therefore, this series never happened, so I can't grade it. No jokes. All jokes aside, though, I don't know who came up with that idiotic saying, but it has always been stupid. I'm not gonna lie to you. This series did happen, and although the first 4 games ranged from awful to bad, or even horrendous, you might say, this was a good series. If you are only gonna have 3 good games, it is best that they are the last 3 games. I'm scoring this a 72 out of 100. I could see this ranging anywhere between 65 to 74. And I would like to do a couple things, erase my previous scoring. I had the Mavs vs. Clippers game at 83. And Lakers Nuggets at 88 in the last video. You guys have not seen that. I would like to lower both of those because I had to start thinking about it. Based on series, you have to get bonus points for a series going 7 games. And, like a lot of bonus points for that. Maybe like 10, 15 points. And then for a series going 6, you might just get like 5 or so. But a series that only goes 4 or 5, you have to subtract the opposite amount. So, for example, I might subtract a series that goes 4 games, 25 points, right? And the reason why is, can you really call a sweep a great series, right? Can you give, it was a sweep, but it's 8 out of 10. Like, even though the games were close, you think to the Nuggets last year in 2023 versus the Lakers, it was a sweep, and the games were all really good. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't call that a great series, so you got to put a cap on it, right? Same thing with a 5-game series. Can you really call it truly great or amazing? So, I don't know. I averaged, like, the score before in the Western Conference video, and I will end up doing, like, a revision. After all the playoff series are over, I want to do a ranking of order from worst series to best series, and I want to keep all that in mind. Bonus points for a series getting extended, subtracting points for a series getting cut shortened. So I want to do a video at the end, or we will recap that. I think the Nuggets, no, excuse me, I think the Wolves versus Sun series was accurately graded, and same with the Pelicans and Thunder series. But those two series I will be probably revising, just so you guys know. But our next series is Pacers versus Bucks, a 6-game series being better than the 7-game series. And I think there are two 6-game series better than this 7-game series, because they gave the Cavs versus Magic the NBA TV treatment. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They put them jokers on NBA TV whenever they could, so the commentary wasn't as good as TNT and ESPN. I do like Gus Johnson and them boys, but they knew people didn't care too much about this series. But that final game, those final 3 games were a goodie. Now we start with the Pacers versus Bucks, which I was hyped to see Dame Dollar back in the playoffs, and I felt like the Bucks were a championship threat. Where Cavs Magic, it seemed like whoever won that series just gonna lose to the Celtics. Foregone conclusion. Now, game 1, Pacers versus Bucks. There's a solid rivalry going into this before the series, right? From the play-in tournament and stuff like that. You guys met in the Final Four, the play-in tournament. Or, my bad, not play-in tournament, mid-season tournament. Now, game 1 was the Damian Lillard show. He had deep threes, contested threes, step-back threes. At one point, Damian Lillard had 29 points. The Pacers had 29 points. And the Bucks had a 29-point lead. Another one, game 1 was a massacre. Dame Dollar was sensational. Bucks were up like 58 to 29 at one point. You guys couldn't do the math on that. Dame Dollar was, whoa, felt good to see him back in the playoffs. Game 2, the Pacers won every quarter by a slight margin to tie the series at 1-1. Siakam led the way with 37 points. With the series tied 1-1, a pivotal game 3 was on the horizon, and it was spectacular. The Pacers were up for a 39 to 20 point lead at the end of the first quarter. The Bucks just slowly but surely climbed their way back into the game. A Chris Middleton buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter would cut the deficit down to 7. Damian Lillard would hit back-to-back three-pointers to give the Bucks a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. Tyrese Halliburton shot 1 for 12 from behind the three-point line in this game. But the one that he hit was clutch. It gave the Pacers a 2-point lead with 6 minutes remaining. The teams would continue to battle back and forth. Then with 20 seconds left, Siakam would secure an offensive rebound and hit a driving layup for an and-one. Damian Lillard tried to take a charge, but the play was reviewed and confirmed to be a blocking foul after review. Siakam missed the free throw, so the Pacers were only up 3 points. Chris Middleton would hit a deep fading three-pointer, falling out of bounds in the right hash to tie the game at 111 all. I was in disbelief. When you shot, I said, it's not a good shot. That's okay, never mind. You feel me? In the words of Paul George, that's a bad shot. Now, Siakam game-winning three-point shot on a catch-and-shoot, banked off the rim, and we're heading to overtime. With 20 seconds left in overtime, Aaron Nesmith is left wide open for 3. He hits it to give the Pacers a 3-point lead. The Bucks were defending it well, that possession, but they rotated too early. And that gave Nesmith 1 second left to get that shot off in time, and he ended up hitting it. They rotated 1 second too early and stuff. He was 0 for 6 behind the arc before hitting this big-time shot. So Halliburton and Nesmith could not buy a three-point shot to save their life for most of the game, but when the team needed them most, they both cashed in. On the Bucks' next possession, Lillard found Middleton at the top of the key. He banked in the game-tying triple. Middleton came up clutch again. With 6 seconds left, Halliburton would take the inbound in the backcourt so he could get a running start. He crosses up Pat Bev and hits a free throw line floater in 1. Middleton, game-tying 3, would brick off the side of the rim. The Pacers win game 3, 121 to 118. Okay, so game 1 of this series, the Damian Lillard show. Although the game was a blowout, it still was a good game. I'm giving that one a 74 out of 100. It is entertaining to see Dame Dollar do what he does best. As close as prime Steph or current Steph or whatever you're finna get in the playoffs, since Steph didn't make it. Now, game 2, Pacers winning every quarter. Kind of was a mid game. It was average. I give it like a 50 out of 100 exactly. It's kind of mid. the Bucks defense was embarrassing to watch. Like, it kind of made me mad. I ain't gonna lie to you. But game 3, this game that I just recapped, was spectacular. I'm giving that one a 97 out of 100. It was a pivotal game. Both teams wanted it bad to take that 2-1 lead. The Pacers had 6 players in double figures. Miles Turner led the way with 29 points and 10 rebounds, both playoff career highs for him. Tyrese Halliburton had a triple-double, 18 points, 16 assists, and 10 rebounds. The Bucks had 5 players in double figures. Middleton finished with a playoff career high, 42 points, plus 10 rebounds. Lillard finished with 28 points. Some good performances there. When the Pacers get to 120, though, they are tough to beat. Unfortunately, though, Damian Lillard injured his Achilles in the fourth quarter. Although he finished Game 3, he would miss Game 4 and Game 5. In Game 4, the Pacers will hit a franchise record of 22 three-pointers to take a 3-1 lead. Bobby Portis let his emotions get the best of him, and he got ejected early in the game. In a pivotal game without your 2 best players, Bobby has to be smarter than that. In Game 5, Bobby Portis would return and score 29 points. The Bucks would blow out the Pacers by 23 points. In Game 6, Lillard would return, but the Bucks would get blown out by 22 points to close out the series. Giannis did not play a single game of the series due to a calf strain. Hopefully they will have better help next year. The Pacers were the kryptonite all season for the Bucks. And okay, I made an error. My apologies. Everybody's human. Now I could re-record all the stuff I did for the Magic cast stuff, but that's too much. Magic cast is better than this series, so we're supposed to go in order from worst to best. Magic cast is better than this series. I'm looking at the grades and stuff I have right here. This I have for a well above average score, a 67 out of 100. I could see it ranging anywhere between a 64 to a 73. Magic versus Cavs was better than this series, without a doubt. But this series was entertaining. Seeing the Pacers, they play with such a fun, fast pace. Where Cavs Magic, man, them boys are out there struggling. They're on that struggle bus to buy a bucket. But the Pacers, they score so efficiently and so much ease by the pace they play at. It's kind of entertaining, more entertaining to watch. And the commentary was better since they didn't get the NBA TV treatment. They had games on ESPN and TNT and stuff like that. So, this series, Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6, in my opinion, they all got worse as the series went on. So, Game 3 was the high. Then Game 4, 5, 6 all went back down. Game 4 I thought was above average, right? Because they didn't have Dame, they didn't have Giannis, but the Bucks put up a good fight. I give that one a 63 out of 100. I can see it ranging anywhere between 59 to a 67. Game 5, Bobby Portis returns. He is great that game, but it is another blowout. Bucks won by 23. Like I said, I give that game anywhere between 55. No. I can see it ranging anywhere between a 47 to a 55, but I give that game a 50. And then the final game, Game 6, elimination game, Bucks went out sad. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that one was slightly below average. I give that one, well, actually just below average. I give that one a 42. I can see that ranging anywhere between 37 and a 45. Now's the best series of the whole entire first round, and maybe the best series of the playoffs so far. We'll have to see. Subscribe if you guys want to see the later reviews. But this series, Sixers versus Knicks, was incredible. Starting with the bizarre Game 1. The Sixers took an early double-digit lead in the first quarter, and they were up 9 points heading into the second quarter. That's when Embiid took a seat, and the Knicks made their run to tie the game. Late in the second quarter, Embiid would throw the ball off the backboard and do a self-lob, posterize OG Anunoby in the process. Unfortunately, he tweaked his knee when he landed and missed the rest of the quarter. The Knicks would capitalize on this opportunity and close the quarter out on a 9-0 run. The Knicks led at halftime, 46-58. The Sixers only scored 12 points in the second quarter. Embiid would return in the second half. The Sixers would outscore the Knicks by 15 points in the third quarter to take a 3-point lead heading into the fourth. The Knicks would regain the lead by hitting 3 straight 3-point shots to to seal the game. The final score was 104 to 111. This was truly a great game. I'm going to give this one an 86 out of 100. The Knicks won this game. All their starters had a negative plus minus. I never seen this before. Miles McBride had a plus minus of 37. For those who did not know what plus minus is, it means that whenever Miles McBride was on the court, the Knicks outscored the Sixers by 37 minutes. In other words, when the Knicks starters were in the game, they were losing leads. When the Knicks bench was in the game, they were increasing or regaining leads. And Tom Thibodeau doesn't even play his bench that much. But man, Miles McBride plus 37, that's insane. In game 2, though, maybe the best game of the series. I'll let you guys be the judge. In game 2, Maxey hit 3 3-pointers to get the Sixers a 9-0 lead to start the game. In the second quarter, Maxey hit another 3 that gave the Sixers a double-digit lead. The Knicks would cut that deficit down to 4 heading into halftime. With just over 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, Brunson would hit a Euro step layup. This gave the Knicks their first lead of the game. They were up 68-67. Ultimately, they would carry that lead until the 2-minute 30-second mark in the fourth quarter. There, the Sixers would win a coach's challenge to earn them the ball. Then Maxey would hit a mid-range jumper to give them a 1-point lead, 97-96. Maxey wasn't done, though. A couple of possessions later, with the shot clock winding down, he would a deep 3-point shot to extend the Sixers' lead to 4 points with just over a minute remaining. Now, with 30 seconds left, the Knicks find themselves down 5. Brunson would get a lucky bounce on a contested corner 3 to cut the lead down to 2. Immediately following, Maxey would get inbounded the ball and fall down. On the ground, he would turn it over. The Knicks would recover the ball and find Dante DiVincenzo open for 3. He would miss it. Hartenstein would snag the offensive rebound and hit DiVincenzo again. The second time, the 3-pointer does fall. This gives the Knicks a 1-point lead with 13 seconds remaining. This sequence was wild because you watched Nick Nurse, the coach of the Sixers, tried to call a timeout twice. The first time was during the inbound. Kyle Lowry had the ball in his hands trying to inbound it, and Nick Nurse looked like he hesitated and then rescinded the timeout. He's like, I just can't, don't want it. However, once the ball was inbounded, he rescinded his hands, like I said, like he didn't want the timeout. He's like, never mind. The second time he called the timeout was Maxey was on the ground. And you look, upon replay, the timeout looked to occur at the exact same time Maxey lost possession of the ball while he was on the ground. So if he gets either of those timeouts, the Sixers most likely win the game because they advance the ball up and then they got to get fouled and shoot free throws and stuff like that. But he got neither timeout. And I don't think it was like the referee's fault or anything. It's kind of just unfortunate. Because if they want the timeout, they should have been more decisive with it. They weren't, and then it's like, did he get it in time? Did he not? I don't know. It's tough to tell. However, the game was not over, though. The Sixers were only down 1. They had a chance to win. The Sixers would try to score quickly. Hartenstein would come up clutch again by blocking Maxey's layup attempt. OG Anunoby would corral the rebound, hit 2 clutch free throws to extend the lead to 3. Embiid's deep 3-point shot would brick off the rim, and the Knicks come back to win. A 104-101 spectacular finish. Embiid finished with 34 points. Maxey finished with 35 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. He was 1 rebound away from a triple-double, but was not enough. I'm giving this game a spectacular score of 37 out of 100. I can see it ranging anywhere between 95 to 99. Now, Game 3, the Knicks will have a 3-point lead at halftime. The Sixers will outscore them 43-27 in the third quarter. In this quarter, the Sixers went 9 for 12 from the 3-point line. They would maintain that lead for the rest of the game. Embiid led the way with 50 points and became the first player to finish with 50 points on less than 20 shots in a playoff game. He shot 4 for 4 from behind the arc in the third quarter. I thought this was a good game. Embiid's performance is much needed. It's what the Sixers needed. They need to win this game. Couldn't go down 3-0. So I'm giving the Sixers, this game a 74 out of 100 score. I can see it ranging anywhere between 70 to 77. In Game 4, the Sixers would take an early 27-15 point lead in the first quarter. The Knicks would cut that deficit down to 2 points by halftime. In the second half, a barrage of Knicks threes would give them a lead. They would maintain that lead for the rest of the game. Overall, there were 11 lead changes and 10 ties. In the closing moments, the Sixers would find themselves down 4 points. Lowry would get fouled on a layup attempt. He made the first free throw and missed the second on purpose. Unfortunately, the Sixers could not secure the rebound. Brunson would get fouled and hit both free throws. In result, the Knicks secure the 97-92 victory. Brunson finished with a franchise playoff high, 47 points, which I'm kind of shocked is a high for the Knicks because they had some scores in their prestigious franchise history, but 47 is the high. Now we have the best game of the playoffs, in my opinion, the best game of the series as well, and this is Game 5, Knicks versus Sixers. But before I get there, make sure you guys like the video. You like the video, subscribe for more content. You know the usual. Come on, show me some love. Game 4, let me review that one real quick score-wise. I am giving that game a great game, 83 out of 100. I could see it ranging anywhere between 80 to 88. And I like to apologize. I ran out of footage, right? I wasn't supposed to be talking for more than 30 minutes, but here we are still talking. So instead of having a screenshot at the end, I'm just replaying the game. So you guys have at least something to look at. Something's better than nothing in my opinion. But now the best game of the playoffs as I type it up. Game 5. The Sixers take an early 9-point lead. The Knicks rallied to take a 10-point lead in the second quarter. By halftime, that lead would be cut down to 6 due to a Tyrese Maxey buzzer beater layup. In the third quarter, these teams would go back and forth while neither team gains a significant advantage. The Knicks would take a 70 to 69 point lead heading into the fourth quarter. So the Knicks are up by 1 in the fourth. This is in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are at home with a chance to close out the Sixers up 3-1. Early in the fourth quarter, Maxey will make a wide open 3. After crossing and saucing McBride, the next possession, McBride will get his revenge, and he will hit a mid-range jumper after he does a snatchback dribble move, and that breaks Maxey's ankle and sends him to the floor. Fast forward, less than 2 minutes remaining in the game. The Sixers trail by 3 points. Embiid would get stripped of the ball by Mitchell Robinson. OG Anunoby would scoop it up, and his breakaway dunk would give the Knicks a 5-point lead. Tyrese Maxey will quickly respond with an N1 floater to cut the lead down to 3. These teams would trade buckets over the next 2 possessions. Then with 30 seconds left, Brunson would find a wide open Miles McBride for a mid-range jumper. This gave the Knicks a 6-point lead at home with just 30 seconds left. I thought the series was over. Another great game, but this is where the cookie crumbles. Sixers go home. No. The most improved player of the year, Tyrese Maxey, had other plans. Maxey would hit an N1 3-pointer, and that would reduce the lead down to 2 points. With only a 1 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, the Sixers had to intentionally foul. Josh Hart would split the free throws, so the Sixers were only down 3 points with 15 seconds remaining. In this scenario, I believe it's best if you intentionally foul and you play the free throw contest game. It looked like Coach Thibodeau told them to foul, but they did not get the memo. Tyrese Maxey crosses half court and lets a deep 3 fly from the logo and is nothing but net. Ties the game up at 97-97. Brunson, buzzer beater floater. Floater was rejected by Nicholas Batum, and we are heading to overtime. The Knicks, I believe, had a timeout to advance the ball, and they don't even call a timeout. I was flabbergasted. Everything I was witnessing. Coaching debacle at the end. Not fouling, and not calling a timeout to advance the ball. In overtime, the Knicks would go on a 5-0 run to start. The Sixers would respond with a 9-0 run of their own. Brunson would drive for a layup. Embiid tried to block the shot, but hit Brunson in the face, resulting in a flagrant foul. Brunson hit 1 free throw, then hit a wide open 3 to tie the game at 106-106 with just over a minute remaining. Kelly Oubre would make a standing layup that gave the Sixers the lead. After that, they would hit 4 free throws to ice the game. The final score was 106-112. The Sixers won in overtime. This game had it all, including 16 lead changes and 6 ties. Maxey was sensational. He had 46 points, 9 assists, one assist away from a double-double. Embiid had a triple-double. He had 19 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. He also had 9 turnovers. He almost had the quad dub, but he is one shy away from that. Brunson had 40 points yet again, but this time his 40 bomb was not enough. I thought that was the best game of the series, best game of the playoffs in round 1, maybe in the best game of the playoffs, including round 2 and 3. I'm trying to think of one. Maybe. It's close. But I'm getting that game a 98 out of 100. Another spectacular game. And now we have Game 6. The Sixers at home face another elimination game. They got to win to force a game 7. The Knicks travel back to Philly. There, the Knicks would take an early 33 to 11 point lead. Inexcusable for the Sixers to come out this flat in an elimination game at home. And they're talking about the crowd in game 4 and stuff, and how the crowd wasn't good enough for the Sixers and all that. They made a big deal about this crowd and all that. And then for that to happen in game 6, oh man. Got at least get the crowd a reason to cheer for you. The Knicks fans were louder than the Sixers fans, rightfully so, because Philly didn't show up for the first quarter. I was having flashbacks to Suns vs. Mavs Game 7 from a few years ago. You can even say Wolves vs. Mavs Game 5 this year. Like, at home, elimination game. You can't be going out this sad. Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut the lead down to 42 type vibes. But nah, the Sixers didn't go outside. They would surge back and take a 54 to 51 point lead at halftime. Fast forward to less than 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Knicks are up 6. OG Anunoby would be left wide open for 3. Instead of shooting, he chose to drive and deliver a grown man jam on Joel Embiid for an N1. This was Embiid's 5th foul. The Sixers would go on a 7-0 run to reduce the lead down to 1. With less than 1 minute remaining, Brunson would hit an N1 floater to extend the lead to 3. With 35 seconds remaining, Maxey would drive and get fouled. Upon review, it was determined that goaltending happened, and result the basket counts, and Maxey would convert the N1 by hitting the free throw. This tied the game at 111 apiece. On the next possession, the Sixers would double Brunson and leave Hart wide open for 3. Hart drilled the triple, regaining the lead for the Knicks. Embiid scored a quick layup to reduce the lead back down to 1 with 20 seconds remaining. However, the Sixers don't foul immediately, and result Embiid elects to intentionally foul. This is his 6th foul, so he fouls out in the process. So I did there, in the process, trust the process. You ain't catch it. I had to explain it to you, but nevertheless. DiVincenzo will hit both free throws to increase the lead to 3 points. Buddy Hield will shoot a deep desperation 3 that misses wildly. Looked like he wanted to foul or something. He didn't get it. The Knicks win in 6. Final score, 118-115. Amazing game to conclude this amazing series. I'm giving this game a score of 92 out of 100. I can see it ranging anywhere between 87 to 95. I'm giving the series an amazing score, 94 out of 100. What's hurting this series is memorability. So, before I talk too much about that, let's talk about Game 6 real quick, all the performances. Brunson finished with 41 points and 12 assists. Embiid finished with 39 points and 13 rebounds. The Sixers bench outscored the Knicks bench 42 points to 5. Yet it wasn't enough. The bench for the Knicks only scored 5 points and they still won. Tom Thibodeau relied on these starters heavily this game. Relied on them heavily throughout the whole playoffs. The Sixers have yet to make the conference finals with Embiid. There's a chance next year, but I have not seen this team as a legitimate title contender since they had Jimmy Butler leave in 2019. So, I don't even think they make it next year. The Knicks, I don't know the last time they ever made the Eastern Conference Finals. It might have been way, way back, but they had a chance to make it this year. Unfortunately, they fell short. Again, if you guys want to see my round 2 review, let me know in the comment section down below. Leave a like and comment. But this series overall, what's hurting it is the memorability. This was an amazing series in round 1. But 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about Knicks versus Sixers in round 1. Like, not too much. Even though it's a spectacular series, I gave it amazing. I'm going to give it, I see it ranging anywhere between 90 to 96. I'm giving it a 94, like I said. But we're not going to be talking about this one years from now because neither of these teams wanted to win the championship. Knicks got bounced the next round. So it wasn't like they had deep playoff runs or anything like that. It will end up being forgotten eventually. The Knicks and Sixers fans, of course, will remember, and so will the diehard fans like myself. But most casuals won't care too much about a first-round matchup. That's why I can't score it too high. But, man, best series, I believe, so far in the playoffs. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I will end up doing, after all these playoff rounds are done, I will rank every single playoff round. So we'll do that after. But that concludes this video. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys on the next one.